Hello, my name is Emma, and today I'm going to be sharing with you guys some series that I need to read this summer. Now, while I feel most readers go on a contemporary kick in the summer because they want those light-hearted, beachy reads, I personally get really into fantasy books as the weather gets nicer. School is out, I'm more focused on the books I'm reading, so I'm able to really invest in a new fantasy world. I also am interning in New York City this summer, so I will have a 2-hour commute once a week, so more time for reading fantasy books. I have been on the craziest contemporary kick since January of this year. I have barely been reading fantasy, so I am super excited to delve back into the world that I love so much that made me fall in love with reading. So this video is going to be a combination of series that I need to start and that I'm really pushing myself to give a chance this summer, as well as some series that I need to catch up on, whether it is the last 2 books, the sequel, anything of that sort. I have a lot of series to talk about and I'm very, very excited to read them. So I do just want to give you guys the heads up that this video is being made in paid promotion with Disney Publishing Worldwide. So of course, thank you so much to Disney for sponsoring this video. But of course, you guys get my honest opinions as always, especially in a video where I'm talking about books I haven't even read yet. So the first series on this list is The Trials of Apollo by Rick Riordan. If you didn't know, Rick Riordan's specialty is mythology. I personally loved the Percy Jackson series from Rick Riordan that I read years ago, and this is kind of like a continuation. The Trials of Apollo series follows the god Apollo as Zeus has cast him down into the mortal world to live as a 16-year-old. While Apollo is pretty much defenseless, he is being followed while also having to fix the problem of the Oracle of Delphi, who cannot deliver prophecies. So he heads along to Camp Half-Blood, which is of course a reference to the Percy Jackson series, and tries to make his way so he can prove himself and be put back on Mount Olympus. So the first book in the Trials of Apollo series is called The Hidden Oracle, and The Dark Prophecy is a sequel which just came out on May 2nd. Considering I have not even read the first book myself, I don't want to say too much about The Dark Prophecy as it is the sequel and, you know, spoilers. But I will say that true to Rick Riordan tradition, after Apollo goes on his first quest here, he is sent on another deadly quest, which of course is just going to be filled with all of the humor and adventure that we love from Rick Riordan books. The Trials of Apollo is a series I have been wanting to read since it first came out, so of course thank you so much to Disney Hyperion for partnering with me on this video and giving me the opportunity to read both of these books this summer. The next series on this list is also from Rick Riordan, and that is the Magnus Chase and the Gods of Asgard series, the first book being The Sword of Summer, and the second book being The Hammer of Thor. Another Rick Riordan series I have not read yet, but I have been absolutely dying to. Everyone has been raving about the Magnus Chase series, and I am super, super excited about it myself. So essentially, the Magnus Chase series follows a boy named Magnus Chase, who has been living on the streets of Boston by himself for all of this time. Before his mother's passing, she warned him about his uncle Randolph, who now appears to be following him and rambling on about Norse mythology. So if I'm correct, Uncle Randolph's ramblings do have some significance, and we find out that Magnus Chase is entitled to a weapon that has been lost for thousands of years. I've also heard great things about the diversity in this book. I believe there is a displaced main character, there is a gender fluid main character, there's like a lot of diversity going on, which I'm super, super excited about. It just sounds like it's really gonna be a great fit for me personally. Now I know everyone says the same thing about Rick Riordan's books that I say about Cassie Clare's books, that you do need to read them in order. I have not read The Heroes of Olympus yet, and I don't plan on reading them this summer. I've read reviews from people that have never read Rick Riordan's books before, and they started with Magnus Chase or they started with The Trials of Apollo and they still had a great reading experience. So The Heroes of Olympus is not a series I currently have on my TBR for the summer. I'm just not as interested as I am in Magnus Chase and The Trials of Apollo. So we'll see how it goes. I've never attempted something this daunting before, so I'm nervous but very excited because these are 2 series I have been dying to read for a very long time, and I'm super excited to give them a shot this summer. While those Rick Riordan books were series I had not started yet, I do have a few that I would like to continue on with this summer. The first being the Shades of Magic series by V.E. Schwab. This is a really awesome adult fantasy series. It essentially follows a main character who can jump through parallel Londons. I have heard great things about the following 2 books and the conclusion of this series, so I have really been dying to read them. I'm actually kind of considering picking them up on audiobook, so if anyone in the comments has actually listened to the audiobooks, I'd love to know what you thought of them. Regardless, this is a series I know I'm going to love. The third book is definitely a little hefty, but I think that the conclusion is going to hold up to all the hype that I felt for the first book. I do think I need to go back and refresh a little bit on the first book to set myself up for the last 2 books, but I know this is such a beloved series. I hear so many people still raving about it today, so I cannot wait to complete them this summer. hopefully. This is really just a really ambitious TBR, so we'll see if I actually get to read any of these, but I'm hoping to. It's in my reading plans this summer. Another series I would really love to start this summer is the Everland series with its sequel Umberland by Wendy Spinale. This is essentially a series of retelling, with the first book being based off of Peter Pan and the second book being based off of Alice in Wonderland and Alice Through the Looking Glass. I have not read either of these yet, but I have really been wanting to, especially because Alice in Wonderland and Peter Pan were my two favorite Disney movies as a kid, and I was totally obsessed with both of them. The first book starts off in World War II, where there is a plague going around, and the Captain Hook figure of this story is snatching up children in order to perform experiments on them to hopefully find a cure for the plague. And so our main character, named Gwen's sister, is snatched, and she has to team up with Pete and his group of lost boys in order to find her. And I think what really intrigues me about the series even more is the way that they bridge the story of Peter Pan and Alice in Wonderland. The way these retellings seem to be told is kind of similar to the Lunar Chronicles, in my opinion. So as someone who loved the Lunar Chronicles and that style of retelling, I'm really interested in these books. They sound super epic, and I've heard great things, so I really hope I can read them this summer. The next series I would like to start this summer is the Kingdom on Fire series by Jessica Clues. The first book is A Shadow Bright and Burning, and the second book, A Poison Dark and Drowning, comes out September 19th, so a little bit close to the end of summer, like 3 days-ish before the summer ends, but still in the summer. This is a book I was given for my birthday by Michael Bookline, who has been dying to get me to read it for the longest time, and I do really want to start it this summer. Over and over again, Michael has sold this book to me as kind of similar to The Infernal Devices, which I of course love. A Shadow Bright and Burning takes place in Victorian London, where our main character named Henrietta has the ability to burst into flames. When Henrietta's power is revealed, she is found to be the first female sorcerer in hundreds of years, and she begins to train to fight this race of bloodthirsty demons. But in big bold letters it says, "But Henrietta is not the chosen one." So definitely sounds like a series with a twist. It's something I am super interested in. My mom is actually in the middle of it right now, and she's really enjoying it, so I have a feeling I will as well. Definitely a series I want to start this summer and be able to pick up the second one when it comes out in September, so I'm really hoping to read it. The next series I'm hoping to continue with this summer is The Diviners by Libba Bray. I read the first book last year and I absolutely loved it. It was just so fun and intense, like exactly what I was looking for a paranormal sci-fi story set in the 1920s. I have not read the second book, Lair of Dreams, yet, though I am really excited for it, and I know the third book is coming out fairly soon as well. So I'm definitely hoping to at least get to Lair of Dreams this summer and continue on with the third book when it does come out, because this is a series I absolutely love. My mom loves it as well. Jesus, I keep talking about my mom in this video. It's a really great series, and I have been kind of avoiding reading Lair of Dreams for no reason whatsoever for the longest time, so I'm really hoping to read it this summer. I do have Lair of Dreams on audiobook, so I do think I will continue with that very soon, but I'm super excited to read it. I've heard great things about the audiobooks as well, so I definitely think that The Diviners is one series I will absolutely check off my summer TBR. So for the final series I have on my list, I do have one final book to read in a series, and that is The Crown, which is the final book in the Selection series by Kiera Cass. I love the Selection series. I read The Heir, which is a continuation of it, but I don't really consider it the Selection series. I really enjoyed The Heir as well, and it left off on such a cliffhanger that left me really wanting to read The Crown, but I just haven't gotten around to it yet. I haven't heard the best things about The Crown. I really think it's very hard to follow up a conclusion like The One, which was the last book in the first part of this story, but nonetheless, I'm definitely excited to read it. It's very short, and I always fly through the Selection books, so I do think this is another one I definitely can get to through the summer. It's just one of those light-hearted, fun, entertaining reads. Like, I know the second I start it, I'm not gonna want to put it down, which is exactly the kind of book that you should be reading in the summer, in my opinion. So I'm super excited to hopefully finish the Selection series once and for all this summer, but I absolutely loved it, and I'm sure I will love The Crown as well. So that is really it for my video on series that I need to read this summer. Thank you again to Disney Hyperion for partnering with me on this video and sending me a copy of The Dark Prophecy. I'm definitely excited to read all of these series this summer, whether it is one that I've never tried before that I'm going to be reading for the first time, or a series that I loved in the past and I'm going to be continuing with. Let me know in the comments of this video, what is one series that you would like to read this summer, whether it is one that you've started and need to finish, or one you've been dying to check out. But that is it for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you soon for a new video. Bye!